Hello, hello, hello. Thanks for clicking on our faces. Had a little bit of technical difficulties, but we are here to discuss the very next episode of Daredevil Born Again. We're on episode 3. And of course, as always, this is a spoiler discussion. So if you have yet to watch episode 3, leave us a like and come back after the show and, talk about it with us. But as you may see on the screen, you see a couple of familiar faces, maybe some unfamiliar faces. So let me do some introductions here. Ladies first, we got my girl Kay from Slice Sahara coming to discuss the show with us today. How's it going?
Going good. You know what? I was supposed to start this show a different way. Okay. Because we're talking about Matt Murdock. Okay. All right.
Oh yes.
Hey, that's fire.
Nice.
That is fire.
I see it. I see the vision. Yes.
Maybe not Matt though. Thank you for that. Because I thought that was funny. Thank you for that, madam. Go ahead.
But speaking of
all puns intended.
There we go.
The great Grand Slam Pooh Bah, how's it going?
I don't really have a costume or nothing like that, so I'm not. But I'm fine. I went to Hell's Kitchen not that long ago. I was actually disappointed because I didn't see the guy in the red horns and Vanessa. But I'm good.
All right, and finally we got Vibrator Vic. What's up, though?
What's popping? Just chilling. Got my duff ready to go, ready to talk about this. Excited
so as
about
always,
this.
If you're watching, leave us a like, drink your drinks, because we're getting into the show. But right before, we like to start off with a little bit of geek news. So let's go straight into it. Now, I want to preface this section of the show by saying we're getting into a little rumor territory here, right? So let's go in here with an open mind and open discussions, because there's the first half of this, which isn't a rumor, is actually going to happen, but there was some speculation and some kind of insider news here. But firstly, there is a very tumultuous documentary that's supposed to be dropping of Stan Lee, his final years. This is a documentary created by his assistant of how he was allegedly being taken advantage of by Marvel, the MCU in his final years. So the assistant who, again, put all of this together, pause and read. This is from the Hollywood Reporter. But basically they're saying that it is already well documented that Lee had a tumultuous final few years. A 2008, the Hollywood Reporter investigation detailed allegations of elder abuse amid a power struggle for control of Lee's care and his estate. A little further down, it says the trailer of this movie tells the story of an elderly icon who is being carted around to comic book signings despite being exhausted. Through the trailer, though the trailer doesn't name the people shown in the footage. One is Max Anderson, Lee's former road manager, who figured into THR's investigation, has previously denied any wrongdoings regarding Stan Lee. Now, there's been some speculation as to who was really exploiting Stan Lee, because people are saying that is the assistant not also exploiting Stan Lee by putting together this documentary for profit. What are you guys' thoughts? Let's start with Kay. What do you think about this?
This is the first time I'm hearing about this. Now, who's doing the documentary?
It's Stan Lee's longtime assistant, who apparently has been recording Stan Lee through his final years, and it put together a Kickstarter to release this documentary. So
I would like to know what their end goal is going to be.
Yes.
Like, what is the reason they're doing it? Like, if this is one of Stan Lee's, like, maybe final wishes that he wanted to happen, and they're just doing it like, this is for my, for my boy. But if y'all doing it for some kind of clout or to throw dirt on Marvel, like, I want to know, like, what is the end goal? And when I know what y'all's end game is, then I can decide. Because right now I'm like, what's it for? Because is his family going to benefit from this somehow? Like, are they going to get some money from this? Are they going to get the rights to something behind this? What is the reason?
Unknown at the moment. But before, let me just give you also a little bit of this tidbit that I discovered via a post. I believe it was under comic book, one of comicbooks.com's posts. There was someone who claims to be an insider. I removed their name for privacy purposes, because I don't know if they really wanted it to be out there like that, even though they were in the comments. But this is what they said. They said, I was there. His manager, Alex, exploited him and stole from him regularly. Ask me more. He goes on to say he was forcing Stan to sign merchandise that he wasn't supposed to. Then he, Max, would carry it off to his car or elsewhere to sell it for his own profit. I watched him doing it through all of New York Comic Cons in 2016. He also goes on to say, when someone asked him if he reported it, he said he did. I went to higher ups in Marvel named Michael D. Asio, excuse me if I'm saying that wrong, about it. And I was told to shut up. I was then laughed at and told that he, Michael, couldn't wait for Stan to die so he wouldn't have to pay royalties anymore. I then got into an argument with him about his words and the nice new Mercedes he had in the parking lot and the new homes in Wilson Manor he had purchased as a result of Stan's creating the company and gave him the job he has. He eventually quit 3 months later. So this is allegedly someone who it was working within the MCU and is coming forward with their story. So there may be some truth possibly to this documentary, to this assistant's claims in this video. But like I said, I'm a little concerned as well about what the end game is and why did he wait so long to release it and who's actually going to profit from this documentary. But the great grandson Plupa, aka Jack, what are your thoughts?
Just like Kay just said, I've never heard about this at all. This is the first time I've ever heard about this. I'm never interested in documentaries like this where they're talking about all these things and the stuff that was going on with Stan, and I don't know. I don't think that's something I would ever just put on. Mm-hmm. And also, too, I mean, and that is the fair question of Stan passed in 2018. This is 2025. Why is this all of a sudden starting to see light? It won't ever get light out of my television. So that's really my 2 cents, because I don't really have a whole lot of thoughts about it, except I'm not going to watch it. And why is it now that we're getting this?
All right, Vic?
This reminds me of the Michael Jackson documentary, of the R. Kelly documentary, and the fact that they're doing it on Kickstarter. So, like, I think that somebody's just trying to get a payday so they can upload something on YouTube, period. Mm-hmm. That's what I think it is, because if it were the estate, they like their methods would be a lot more polished.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I think that whoever was working with Stan, and mind you, the whole notion of having them sign things that they're not supposed to. I mean, Stan Lee, what restrictions does he have on signing things? Like, that doesn't make any sense. For somebody like Stan Lee to say no to signing things. I mean, I'm sure that as old as he was, he didn't want to sit there signing stuff all day. Like, you could see it. I mean, we see it when we go to wrestling meet and greets. Like, after a while, those guys are just tired. Uh-huh. So, this whole situation definitely makes sense. But I think that they're just using some film, mashing it up together on Canva, trying to set it up for a YouTube upload, and then putting it on a crowdfunding site so that they can just pay out.
Well, we'll see what happens. But let's get into some of these chats here. We got Shay. The ending of this episode had me heated. Same. Oh my God. We'll get into it. Hey, CT. Thanks for being here. We got John Watson. Yep, I remember this. What's up? Hi. Thanks for watching. Hi, Charmaine. Thank you. Thanks for being here. And supposedly this was going on before Disney bought Marvel. Oh, okay. So he's been exploited for quite some time. Allegedly, but that's a bit of the geek news. And the last bit of geek news too, before we get into the show, is Daredevil related. So Foggy and Karen return in season 2 of Daredevil, and this is according to IGN. Daredevil Born Again season 2 is officially coming to Disney Plus, and when it arrives, it's bringing back Deborah Ann Woll as Karen Page and Eldon Henson as Foggy Nelson. Now, y'all know, spoiler alert. I don't know if it's a spoiler at this point, but Foggy died. So,
whoa! When did that happen?
Whoa! I hate to blow your mind.
Oh my God! I just got to know Foggy.
Do you think that he's coming back as a ghost, as a flashback? Do you think that he possibly is maybe not dead at all? Like, what are your thoughts?
I honestly want that so much. Foggy as a ghost, because some people would be like, "Hey, Fog." I know that was a bad pun, and I'm gonna stick with it because I loved every last minute of that. So it's interesting because, when I saw this stuff about Foggy and he's dead, and I really set up for what the season is, right? And I heard about him being brought back. I said, that's weird. Why would they bring him back? And now I looked up some things on how he could be brought back up. Now, there was this one thing that they did say, which I don't know if it works for this, but in the comics, Foggy fakes his death because he was hiding out or something like that, trying to. But I don't see how this would work here because it's clear that he's been buried. So how do I feel about it? I kind of don't want. Not even kind of. I don't want them to undo his death. I mean, they did it. Stick with it. Stand 10 toes down with it. But they already confirmed that he's coming back, so it is what it is. But yeah, he's coming back. He's gonna come back, and I just don't know how he's gonna come back. Karen they never killed her off, so it was always left open that she could come back. So that don't bother me.
West Coast somewhere, right? She's supposed to be in like Southern California or San Francisco or somewhere over there.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. Vic, what do you think? Is he coming back? Is Foggy coming as a ghost, as a flashback, or as an undead? He didn't really die.
No, I think this is going to be all flashbacks. I think this is their way of merging the two shows.
Okay.
Because look, they got the same hero, the same villain. Mind you, the fact that Foggy was even there in the first episode was just like, oh wow, to me, But then I wasn't surprised when they killed him. So I think that it will definitely be flashback stuff, as a way to bring him in and merge in the two shows.
Okay. Okay.
You mute it, madam.
You're muted.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that they're going to try to do some creative stuff and give him that same treatment that they gave Elektra and just go on and resurrect him. Now, is he going to be resurrected as a good guy or not so good guy? I don't know. But I feel like they're going to give him that Elektra treatment.
I almost forgot about, Elektra and her, Lazarus capabilities.
They should bring her back, though, because she was a damn good Elektra.
AKA Lala from Black Lightning.
Lala, they just wanted to torture Lala. They always just because he's how many times did that dude die? He died maybe 10 times. I think even to the point he said, "Why won't you let me die?" I was just waiting for the guy. I was just waiting for the guy to say, "Because it's funny."
That's what Foggy's going to say. Why won't you let me die?
And the creator's going to say, "Because it's funny."
But let's get into the show proper. Thank you all for being here. We got 23 of you guys in here so far. Join us in the chat and let us know your thoughts on the show. But we open it up with our boy, White Tiger, in prison, right? And he's discussing Luquillo Beach. And my grandparents live not too far from Luquillo Beach. I'm very familiar with Luquillo Beach.
Oh, nice.
Oh, so you must have heard the coquille in person.
Yes, every night. They are,
wow.
They are loud. They're just as loud and incessant. But it's not to the point that it's annoying. It's honestly very calming. It's almost like white noise in the background when you're trying to sleep.
Oh, okay. All right.
But yeah, I was like, oh yeah, Luquillo Beach. Okay, yeah. But he was kind of explaining to Matt, he's kind of reminiscing about Puerto Rico. And he feels in his heart, you can kind of tell in the scene that he's not sure if he's ever going to see it again. But Matt reassures him. He said, hey, I'm going to get you out of here. You're going to see your family again. And that was pretty much the opening of the show. Very touching. We get a scene where there was this truck and it's being held up by this, I don't even know who they are. It seems later in the episode that they are part of, the underbelly of Hell's Kitchen, those two rival gangs who are kind of somewhat working together. But they'll tie this in later in the episode. And we got my boy, Wilson Fisk, sitting at the table with Melania Trump, aka
Ah!
I always enjoy seeing Fisk on screen. I keep telling y'all Fisk is the daddy of the show. And Vanessa's really trying to hold on to the grip that she had of this organization. What do you guys think about her being kind of, running things behind the scenes and still even trying to do so after Fisk is like the mayor?
So backing up to him, Hector getting to the story of his to where he came from.
Mm-hmm.
So while Matt is sitting there kind of talking to him, about he's gonna get him back home to his family, and Hector's like, home feels like heaven, and it was foreshadowing because you did kind of go back home to your other family kind of thing. It was and looking back on it, it's kind of morbid. But going up to Vanessa needs to know her husband a little bit better than what she do right now. Okay. Right now, she thinks she got it all figured out because she was in charge for 5 minutes while he was out here chasing around Hawkeye and Echo.
Mm-hmm.
Ma'am, he's been in this business for a very, very long time.
It's true.
And he's very calculated. And he does nothing by accident. And I need her to know that about him, that nothing that he's doing is by chance. And that he's when he don't seem like he's working right now. Mm-hmm. And her meddling is getting in his end game because he's playing the long game right now. He's playing a move of chess because I see what he's doing. He really wants for everything to go to shit right now. He wants it to go to shit so that he can live up to his slogan, Fisk can fix it.
Right.
You know how when TikTok got banned.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, and popped out like, I fixed it. Uh-huh. Yes, let me make a mess and then help come and clean it up. But she acting like she don't know what the plan is. I see the plan. I need you to see the plan.
Oh, okay. Very nice. Okay, Vic, thoughts on Vanessa running things, even as he's the mayor?
It reminds me of the Asian woman that was after Lex Luthor and Superman and Lois.
Oh.
Yeah. His assistant, Lex's assistant.
Yeah. So she's like the hand of the king, but then there's no king, so she's pretty much the queen, and now she got used to that. She got used to having all that power, calling all the shots, and not having to answer to nobody. And now, daddy's home. And so, you know what I mean? So now he's not trying to. She ain't trying to, listen to nobody because she's used to not listening to nobody. Mm-hmm. But then at the same time, like he needs her. So we'll see. He definitely has an end game, but he needs her. So we'll see how long she lasts. Because at the same time, like she's jealous of his power. And I don't think she necessarily realizes that. Like she became somebody that's like power hungry. Like I don't even think she loves him, And the other thing is like
really,
yeah. I don't think so. The thing I noticed is that when he won the election, she was the first person that he looked at, and she was like,
she was out. She clocked out. Yeah.
She clearly didn't like the fact that he won, that he got more power, that he's the mayor, that all these things. She, you know what I mean? It was definitely giving Melania Trump because I remember when this dude won, she was like ready to cry.
Okay, I have a different opinion, but let's go on, Jack. What do you think about?
I don't think I could top any of these thoughts, but I agree with Vic on that last part where you're talking about how she doesn't even seem like she loves him anymore. She seemed like actually like, and I'm going just back on what was that, episode 1 when he won, and you're supposed to be really happy for your spouse, and she's just like, this is messing up everything. Because she already has a plan on how she wants to run the streets. Mm-hmm. So what do I think about this? Just like how Fisk, I saw this on Twitter. I thought this was fantastic. But someone mentioned how his omelet has been recast. I think this woman needs to be recast because this woman ain't doing it for him.
Vanessa, okay. She had to fight to get back on this season. I love Vanessa. And I think she loves him. I just think that she's tired of him. She's tired of that
don't sound like love, see.
You can be tired of people you love now. It's just, you know, they've been together for a minute now, and she's
You
been
know,
with
actually, this is really
him years.
relatable. Okay. It's fair.
But we flash over to Matt. He's in the bathroom washing off his knuckles because, as we can recall, he put the ass whooping on a couple folks in the last episode. Very great
I'm
ending.
glad you broke that down like that, because when you said he was in the bathroom, I think a lot of people were ready to leave. But go ahead.
He was in there, you know, fixing himself up. And here we got old dirty cop guy coming in, trying to shake him down. And honestly, I'm surprised he's alive, because I honestly thought, you know, Matt disposed of them in the last episode.
I didn't think so, because he's holding back. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I guess. But he pretty much told Matt, like, hey, yeah, I don't think the judge will appreciate you know, interfering with a cop investigation. And Matt was like, I don't think he appreciate you, you know, tampering with the witnesses. I really enjoyed this scene. I can't stand this police officer. I'm sure the NYPD in real life is gotta be like, golly, we get no breaks in movies. They're always the bad guy. But yeah, that happens in that scene. We see that our witness, our sole witness, the one that Matt Murdock actually saved his life in the last episode, he is taken to a kind of like a hiding spot, right, by Cherry. And Cherry has to pull him out. He's apparently also addicted to, you know, some sort of substance. And Cherry has to be the one responsible to getting him to the courthouse. And this is hard because the police have already made it known in this scene that they're like, look, this witness cannot make it to the court because we're dirty cops. They got the Punisher signal on their neck. And they're already like, look, we're going to make sure that this man does not stay alive to testify. And I thought it was a very interesting scene when we got that whole switcheroo thing where we thought he got into one car with Cherry, but that wasn't the case. Thoughts on these couple scenes? Anything stuck out to you guys?
It was very New York City cop. You know what I mean? Like, it was very Irish guy. It's you know, it's been around for a long time, and they protect each other. Like, they, you know, like, I mean, look, you spend so much time with somebody as a partner. You know, you build a bond, and that's something that happens to a lot of cops. Like, they just build this brotherhood. So for them to be booked like the Foot Clan, like, you know, where everybody's, you know what I mean? Like, for them to be booked like that, it makes a lot of sense. Because
but even when Cherry, he flashed his little retirement badge too, and that didn't sway him none. The other police officers, he was like, yeah, get out the car.
No, because they know that then there's people that are dirty cops that, you know, go around the system. And you know, and take a little bit of it out of the evidence room and do dirty things. You know what I mean? So, like, you know, not everybody's united like that, but yeah, it very much felt like New York City police officer. I'll tell you that.
Jack, okay. Thoughts?
It was fun. It was fun.
We got the bathroom scene. We got our star witness. The trial going on, and the whisperings of these dirty cops. Of course, later in the episode, we kind of circle back to the gangs, and they're fighting because of the issue in the beginning of the episode where this kind of shakedown goes wrong. And they were offered 1.8, I want to say million, they didn't specify, but they said 1.8 as kind of retribution for whatever was lost during that earlier scene. And we see that our guy, what was his name, Cashman, our kind of henchman to Wilson Fisk. One of the gang members, he was saying, "Oh yeah, I don't answer to the henchman. Get Wilson Fisk out here." And he said a line, the henchman, he said, "I don't work for the mayor, I work for the man," right? But then later we see that it was actually Vanessa that sent him to send this money. So what is this? What do you think this? I don't work for the mayor, I work for the man. Who's the man? Is the man Wilson Fisk, or is the man Vanessa for real, for real?
I think Vanessa is the man. I think it's a play on words here.
No. I think that she works for Wilson Fisk, the man, not in the administration. Kind of like Donald Trump's kids. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like Donald Trump's kids are not in his. Oh, you know what? Elon Musk. That's another one. That's a better one. You know, like
There's
he
a lot of
doesn't.
name drops.
I
Like you
feel
know,
like he would
there's no.
joke on this. I feel like he don't work for the man. He worked for the man, the woman, the Vanessa.
No, I mean, like you just like.
Because I think it's a play. I think it's.
You just
I honestly
like
think it's. A,
she's packing. She's got a big one. You know what I mean? That's true. Like about it.
wait, what?
You know what I mean? But the thing is just that she's the second hand. But I see what you're saying. You're trying to say that she's.
But I think. But see, I think this is what
that he's working for, and I don't think that's what it is.
I think it's. But I think this is to throw us off, though. I think this is a great way to throw us off, where everyone's saying it's Wilson Fisk because, right, Wilson Fisk, he used to run the streets and all that stuff, blah blah blah. But he hasn't been doing that in years. Who's been doing that? Vanessa.
No, he still is doing that. That's the thing. It's just that now he's the mayor, so he has.
And okay, but right, he
for him as the mayor.
In a way, sure, but in his absence, who was doing it?
Vanessa.
Shout out to the chat. We got 50 of you guys in here so far. Drop a comment. Let us know what you thought of the show. But hey, who do you think is the man? Is it Vanessa, the woman, or is it Wilson Fisk that this guy is working for?
I think it's somebody above both of them. Okay.
Okay.
That we haven't seen yet. I think he has a higher pay grade than what they know of. And so by him saying that was a clue, like I can take this above, Fisk and Little Miss Queen Pen over here. And I also want to point out that although, Matt get around good with his powers, one of the weaknesses is he is not able to see. And somebody in his corner need to tell him that there are certain police officers that have a skull tattoo.
Oh, facts.
Nothing in his powers grant him the ability to know that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
There's nothing that he has to sense a tattoo or some ink or anything. Somebody needs to point him out that there is a sector of officers that have this skull tattoo that is similar to Frank Castle.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's going to play into a later episode, though, because like you're right, he can't see that, he can't feel that, but he does watch the news, so they could probably say there's probably going to be something down the line where they're like, and by the way, these guys with skulls on, and he's going to be like, and I don't know how he would know how, because I don't remember in the previous episodes if that was ever said to him, like he wears a skull, and I feel like he does know because Kingpin said that in episode 1 where a guy walking with a skull and all that stuff. So I think that's going to play into later, like somehow it's going to get mentioned and it's going to trigger a memory for him.
Okay. Yeah. I feel like if anyone does tell him about these tattoos and he finds out, it's going to be Sherry, the guy who, he used to work with the police. He may know a little bit about, that underbelly of the police. But yeah, that's so true. He can't see those tattoos. Somebody gotta warn our guy.
Well, give it 5 years. They'll probably update his powers, and he'll be able to feel tattoos.
He'll sense it. The ink. He'll smell the ink in the air.
Yeah.
On the neck.
See, that's what Foggy was for. Foggy was the guy in the chair. Foggy would have told him by now.
That's true. We gotta wait for season 2.
And honestly, that's why wasn't Bullseye killed him because he knew he was the guy in the chair. Always gotta give up the guy in the chair.
But I mean,
I don't even want to sit in this chair. This is dangerous.
Matt's beautiful second in command right now. That's setting him up on dates and knows everything and is like the smartest woman in the room. I think that's her point. That's her spot.
Who, the psychologist?
No.
The lawyer.
Her right here. Her.
Yes, her.
Okay.
Oh yeah, she's great.
Yeah, she is. And she
Heather?
is. Yeah.
No, Heather's the girl. Is the counselor. I forgot what her name is, but she's fantastic though.
No, she's smart as a whip. She knows how to like get him in line. She knows how to talk to him and everything. And I think that Kristen, perfect.
Okay.
Is it Kirsten or Kristen?
Kirsten, like Kirsten Dunst.
Okay, perfect. Kirsten is that person. Like she is, yeah. I'm waiting for her to find out when he's Daredevil. Like that's what I'm waiting.
I hope not. Too many people are finding out that my boy is Daredevil.
Too many people.
Yeah, yeah. I even Cherry, like I saw him on episode 1. I said, I just met you, and I don't like this at all.
Nah, man. She's too smart. You know what I mean? She's gonna pick up on body language type shit. I'm telling you, this woman is on point.
Well,
or maybe she'll find out like how Claire did. He'll just be in a dumpster somewhere, and she'll be like, "You're the devil." Yeah,
and she can keep a secret. I bet guarantee.
I just don't think everyone needs to know. I'm kind of not a fan of that. Maybe maybe it's an outdated thing, but I just don't like everyone knowing because I feel like too many people know.
Well, if you're watching, don't forget to leave us a like. Don't forget to drink your drink because we drink on the show and we talk about the show. Hey.
Absolutely. I would be joining you guys. My wine is right there and it's not opened, but I'm imaginary joining you guys.
But speaking of the revealing of secret identities, Matt and Elash did effort because, again, our unreliable witness became unreliable. He sided with the cops in the final hour like a bee. So Matt had no choice but to improvise. And he decides to reveal in court that our guy is actually White Tiger without discussing this with his client, by the way.
Yeah.
Hey, look, are you the White Tiger?
I mean, I get it. No, it wasn't. It was a great move because he had no choice.
Okay. Yeah.
He really had no choice. They straight up took his witness right from underneath him, clearly threatened him. I mean, you don't know from how many angles dude was threatened. Like, and wow. And that the way, because I was like, damn, how's he gonna get around that? You know what I mean? But I'll be watching SVU, so I like the lawyer shows.
Oh, me too. Me too. This is definitely a different kind of vibe that I feel like the vibe that we were going to get originally, I think, changed a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's do a couple of these comments.
Please.
Here we got Matt. Hey, thanks for being here. We appreciate you. Hi, Mr. Olaf Hoon. Thank you so much for being here. Lynn R. What's up, girl? How's it going? The Truth 31. I love the actor playing White Tiger. I just hate how they took him out so randomly. Yes, Jesus.
But I think this is going to be, I know we're going to talk about it a little bit later, but I think it's going to be setting up for something because I don't think this is the end of White Tiger, actually. I don't think this is it. But I'll save thoughts for that.
I think there's something with that amulet that he had. You know,
yeah, they specifically mentioned in court that it gives him, enhancements, right? It makes him into this superpower.
And I mean, since we're talking about White Tiger right here, I got familiar with White Tiger because of Ultimate Spider-Man that used to be on Disney. But there was a girl who played her. Her name was Ava or something like that. I think she's the niece. But even in court, I forget if he was talking to Matt privately or if this was in court, but anyway, he mentions like two other people who played or took the mantle of White Tiger. So that's why I say I don't think it's the end. And matter of fact, there was a little girl there, so I don't know if that plays into it. But I do agree that the way they just took him out, I was like, damn, they just took him out. This scene. So here's the thing. I do agree it was a smart move because I saw what Matt was doing. Matt was like, well, let's just take all angles away from them. We're going to make it where it's going to be hard for them because once I do this, what do they got? I got that. Still, dude, ask me. Maybe I don't want everyone to know I am the Black Tiger. Yeah, maybe I don't want people to know that. Okay, like because I like when I wear the mask, it's for me to hide my identity, not for when I wear the mask. People are like, "Hey, Jack, how are you?" What do you mean, hi, Jack? What are you talking about? That was my only thing, but it was a smart move, though.
Yeah, it was a smart move.
No, y'all remember what Denzel said in Training Day? What did he say? You want to go to jail? You want to go home?
Oh,
you want to go to jail? You want to go home?
That's what I said. You know what? That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
But that raises the question. We'll get into it in just a minute. Remind me to ask these questions. I have 3 questions I want to discuss with you guys. But of course, he brings in a couple witnesses to kind of speak to the character of White Tiger. And of course, everyone was pro White Tiger, even the cops, right? Even the cops with their own, written reports. So thankfully, eventually he got off because, he just did what he needs to do. He did, what did he say? Because it was the right thing to do. That's why he helped people out. And bro, this was a good man. I felt so bad. He was saving up money to get, his wife out of his sister's place. This was a good man, Savannah. But at the celebratory occasion, Matt goes home and drinks with his little girlfriend. And I just added this in just to note that I like that they're adding in certain little details to remind us, the audience, that yes, he's blind. He has all of these superpowers, but he is blind.
He wasn't just drinking; he was cooking.
Yeah, he was cooking. You see, he got, his little finger on the mug to see when the water, maybe it gets too high. We also see him reading Braille in the episode. There's a couple different nods to him actually, having
Y'all
this.
don't eat the food that Mac Murdock prepares for you? I'm just curious.
I'm not gonna hold you. Listen, in episode 1, you asked that question. The way he was chopping those onions, I can't do that, and I can see. So yeah, I think I would trust this guy.
He's going off the smell. He like, does it smell done? Do I feel is the heat hot enough?
Because I feel like I would sneak behind his back and add extra seasoning.
Probably.
Just to be sure, right?
I would turn the temperature on the stove down a little bit. Turn up just a little more.
Well, you know what though? But he's from he's from New York, so he probably knows about seasonings.
Oh, he probably likes some good food.
You know what I mean?
I understand what she said about the extra seasoning. No one's talking about it, but
no, because I mean, you think it's gonna be only salt and pepper. Like I get that, but look, he's dating a girl from Queens. Like I feel like he got more flavor than that.
Queens is great, man. But it's true. He said some place that he went to, and he was like, it was really good. I think it was like a sub spot that he.
Sandwich place.
Yeah. So yeah. But I would trust it though. I think
y'all went up there. Y'all got to go and report live from whatever location he was talking about.
Listen, the fat guy in me would want to try it just because he's blind and I want to see. You know what I mean?
Like, so y'all wouldn't go behind his back and stir it and turn the stove down like a little bit.
No, I
feel like he would feel it. I feel like he would notice that.
I love that. Maybe that, but the way you know what it is, like even with the drink, I think that's so smart because like I make my own drinks and sometimes I'm just dangerous to myself. He has his fingers to kind of like count the thing, and I just think that's a great trick. I would have never thought that.
See?
I just think that's an interesting trick. So for the fire, he might do something like this. Go, oh, this is too high, and this stuff. I think for someone who's blind, he's so capable that sometimes I forget he's blind. Because even in this scene, I'm trying to think of what part in the scene, but he did something. I was like, oh right, he's blind. Mm-hmm. I just sometimes forget because he's opening the cabins and stuff like that. He's doing stuff regularly. But to answer your question, Kay, I would trust him. Enough. I would trust him. Yes. I wouldn't be worried that this house would be burnt down and I would have to try to kick his ass because he would kick your ass at 100% because he's really good at kicking ass.
But also we see as he's celebrating the victory, our guy Wilson Fisk is upset. He's mad. He's like, these vigilantes, they gotta get out of the city. And he doesn't go. He specifically asks to
for BB.
BB, a reporter, right? Even though who I assume was his campaign manager, but she must be like some kind of like political consultant. She said, we have connections at the time. So we, connected with little baby BB, right? So my question to you guys is, why was Fisk specifically asked to be interviewed by BB following the White Tiger trial? Kay, what are your thoughts? Why do you think he would do that?
Going back to what I said earlier, he's letting the chaos happen, right? He wants to know on the ground level what they're going through with the crime.
Okay.
He wants the mafia families to be at each other's neck. He wants to take out all of the vigilante superheroes so that when things are the darkest they ever were, who can we call? Fisk can fix it.
Can he fix it? Fisk he can.
Because he let most of it happen. He put most of the thugs and the drug dealers and the dope fiends on the street. He's letting it willfully happen so that he can swoop in and save the day.
So pretty much like creating his own narrative.
Mm-hmm.
I see that. Okay.
But Jack, why do you think that he called BB and not, the reporters from the Times, anywhere?
I think to show that he's not racist, so he got a black girl to help. But I don't know. I have no answer. I think what you said was fantastic about like creating your own narrative because that's kind of like how political parties operate a lot of times, and they like, oh, this stuff happened, but if I swoop in and just at the right time, I'm the knight in shining armor. So it's interesting. But another thing, I guess another thought would be here is because I think it ties back to that interview that they had. I forget it was episode 1 or 2. And, he abruptly ended the interview and all that stuff and almost like have a rewrite of it. And maybe even try to have her in his back pocket, So I'm going to go with that one.
Vic?
I think that he decided to go the TikTok route.
Okay.
and use her.
Is he gonna do a dance?
No. But he's gonna post. He's using the publisher that posts to that type of audience, if that makes sense. Like she is like the underground whatever, right? And that's what she represents. Like his campaign manager was just like, oh, we got people at the Times. Why? Because they can push out a story, right? But she's the platform that pushes out the underground story, what's real, or at least what feels real. So I think this is a brilliant route for him to use. And mind you, clearly they're bringing her in as something, you know what I mean? So like, and the other thing is kind of like it hides him, you know, like nobody's gonna think that the mayor has influence over this independent reporter. The Times, the Daily News, the Post, clearly, you know, but not BB. So.
But I have some thoughts, but let's get into some of these comments here. We got the True 31. BB better not go out like her uncle. Leave that girl alone, writers.
I agree. Don't do that to her.
Cody, I knew he was going to be taken out as soon as the trial was over, as soon as Matt held up the mask in court. Man, my boy, White Tiger gone. Watching from Cedar Hill in Texas. Hey, shout out to Texas. But
Texas is fantastic.
Feeling that he specifically asked for BB because he still feels maybe some sort of guilt for taking out her uncle. And this is like, you know, a post, you know, quote unquote healed Fisk, who got that thing from Echo, like we keep mentioning from that series, where she kind of delved into his trauma. And I feel like this is kind of him trying to make up for killing her uncle by giving her, you know, inside in interviews and kind of boosting her up a little bit. Those are my thoughts.
Interesting. You know, I'm glad that you real quick. I'm glad that you mentioned that because cheap plug. We reviewed Echo last year, but honestly, I forgot about that. And I know you mentioned. I mean, this ain't the first time you've mentioned that spiritual thing that she put on him, but I forget about it sometimes. So yeah, I think that's interesting that you threw that out there.
But here we go. This is where it gets. This is the end of the episode, guys. Of course, it's fall after the trial. Our guy White Tiger got out, and because he's such a good guy, he's back on the streets trying to protect the city. Right? He hears a scream. He goes towards it, and he's taken out, shot in the head, point blank range, by one of these dirty cops. One of these cops that are again wearing the Punisher emblem. This was so sad to me, even with the song Una Palabra. I was like, God, hey. They hit every note, every key. I was sad to see him go, man. Sad to see him go. Thoughts, Kay?
Matt told him not to put that suit back on.
He did.
He said, if you get out of this, if you make it out of this, you will never be able to put that suit on again. But no, he want to go ahead and dress up as White Tiger so he can, you know, kick ass and take names in the name of Jesus. Didn't stop himself, and look where we ended up, because he knew they was going to be on his neck after this. He knew that. First of all, I didn't think he was going to make it past the courtroom.
Oh, okay.
I didn't think he was going to make, but to take him out and then have on the Punisher logo. So just in case anybody's watching can think that this might be vigilante work of the Punisher. First of all, Frank Castle ain't gonna hide his face. So if he gonna do something, he gonna let y'all know he's gonna do it. Okay. And he don't do senseless acts of violence. If he gonna get you, it's gonna be well within his reason and right to go and do so. They're gonna call him from the shadows, and it ain't gonna be good for him.
All right. Vic, thoughts on the ending of this episode? White Tiger taken out.
I wasn't shocked by it. I was just saddened by it, because right after that, when the credits were rolling, they had the cookie just playing. Just you hear the frog just going. And you know, and that was one of the most compelling parts of the episode when he was talking about that. So it's sad because they kind of like took out this character. I was hoping to see more of White Tiger, you know, but Matt really did tell him, like, listen, you got to put the thing on. But the other thing is that I'm actually curious to see if he's dead, because
point blank range. Oh, the ambulance saved him?
Yeah, I'm curious, because if they could spin it, because they really could spin it that way if they wanted to. You know
Okay,
what I
that's
mean? So
true.
I'm curious to see if he's still alive. You know what I mean? Or if he magically comes back somehow.
Okay. All right, that's
It was
true.
also given very White Tiger Tommy, Power Rangers, but
Oh,
Don't mention White
Yeah.
Tommy. He's
Yeah.
he's the worst. He stole from Jason.
the Power Rangers. Jack, did you share your thoughts already? I'm sorry. Did you?
No, I didn't. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
Round of applause. You're doing a great job here. I do agree with in the chat. I think it's Cody right here. He said that he could have had made a different and I agree because the costume looked very Party City. I was not.
Don't count for him. He did.
I'm not doing. I'm not. Kay, I see Kay shaking her head. Do you agree that costume could have been better?
I mean, it was giving, White Ranger Tiger power.
Thank you. Yes.
I kind of see it, and I'm very upset
It really
by this
was.
at all. Because Tommy he stole from Jason, and I've always held a grudge from him. But y'all on point with that. I do agree that the costume could have been better, but I was shocked that they killed him because I said, "Oh, this is an interesting character." I don't know how often they would feature him and stuff like that, but I'm like, "Oh, they could throw him out there every now and then." So killing him, I was like, "Wow, I mean, okay, I guess that's the way." Do I think he's actually dead? I do actually think he's dead, and I think someone else is taking the mantle. Once again, this is only for the very little I know about White Tiger. I don't know a whole lot, but when I watched White Tiger, it was a girl, and maybe she takes the mantle, and maybe she gets into the mix. So I do think that, and I know I said this point earlier, we're still having White Tiger. It just won't be this gentleman here. And round of applause to this guy because I'm not familiar with his acting work and stuff like that, but I thought he did a fantastic job bringing out White Tiger, and I just think it was important to mention that. So, the scene it threw me off, and it's going to be interesting. So, I would ask you guys here. So, we're on episode 4 here. Are we getting the Punisher in the next episode, or what do you think?
I feel like if we get him, it won't be until the end.
Okay.
I got thoughts. I think it's not going. Usually with these little, 8 to 10 season episodes, the shit really start hitting the fan around 5 or 6. So I feel like the Punisher's going to show up around 5 or 6 episodes.
Okay. So not next episode.
Not next episode. Maybe the one after or episode 6. But again, shout out to the actor White Tiger. His name is Camar de los Reyes. Shout out to him. He did pass away, but he did a great job in this series. Did. But before we end the show, let's respond to some of these comments here. We got David. Hi, thanks for being here. Just hope Mayor Fisk gets caught. Y'all better not catch my baby. I know that's my man. I love me some Fisk.
Would you eat if he was serving omelet? Would you trust him with his omelet?
Most definitely.
100% would.
Okay. Everyone is down for the omelet. Okay.
Yes. Fisk is just big boned. He eat healthy organic.
No, I'm not making fun of his weight. I'm just saying I always found it hilarious. Like
he fixes omelets. I'm sure
he makes a mean omelet. I just love when he has a nightmare. He wakes up and make an omelet. I'm like, is that what calms you down? But hey, shout out to him.
Same. Shout out to the chat. 71 of you guys here so far. Thanks for being here, Cody.
He should have left the eggs
that afternoon. He should love to stay that afternoon. Yeah, poor guy, yeah. David. By the way, I just finished watching Chicago Med and PD on Peacock. All right, very nice. But that was the episode, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for joining us and discussing the show with us. Join us next week, same time, same place. We're going to talk about the very next episode. But before we go, Kay, go ahead and plug your channel.
Yes, if you all have not, please hit subscribe for Slice of Horror. If you are new here, give me a thumbs up and hit subscribe. On Sundays, we talk Severance, also talking about Daredevil. Next month, I will be starting Godfather of Harlem. Nice. Woman in the Yard is on my list. Sinners is on my list. So come, if you like nerd stuff, you like horror stuff, come on, hit subscribe for me. And thanks for having me, you all.
It was fantastic. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
And of course, season period and unpopular review, we will be discussing Invincible tomorrow night. So if you are into Invincible, join us tomorrow night because it is the season finale of season 3 of Invincible. So join us here on.
I have predictions.
Predictions. Okay.
I do. This is why I got one. That purple terror will get his butt kicked.
Don't you dare come for my baby Oliver. That's my child. Don't you come for Oliver.
The purple terror.
If they off my baby Oliver right here, I'm about to be so upset. I'll go to war for Oliver.
I don't think you have to. I think he can do that himself.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised seeing Chrissy with a cosplay purple baby one day.
You should be. You should be. You should be. What's his name? Whatever his name. Purple Terror.
Word up.
I forgot his name.
Oliver.
Oh yeah. That's a
But
terrible name.
bye. See you later. Subscribe. Goodbye.